Hello and welcome to Muse and Metrics. This is your host, Philippa Burgess. I am here with another fabulous guest, a fellow Women Techmaker Ambassador.
Hello, everybody. My name is Selen. I am joining from Turkey. I am an Android developer working in Akbank, which is a Turkish bank. Yeah, I'm a Women Techmaker Ambassador and also like a remarkable facilitator, Women in Tech Netherlands director.
So you're involved and visible in the Women in Tech community. I know our paths have crossed as a fellow Women Techmaker Ambassador, and I also know you to be a content creator and a mentor and a speaker, which I appreciate, and I want to kind of get into all of that as well. Let's start with what led you to be an Android developer. Let's sort of start on your kind of career path and some of the things that got you to where you are today.
Yeah, amazing. My career journey actually like not a linear one. I tried several things when I was in college. I first tried machine learning in my first internship, and I had my own startup. I tried like backend development and mobile development there. And after that, like for my latest year, senior year internships, I did a lot of like backend development and also mobile development again. And for my first job, actually, I was a backend developer. But after I graduated, I continue as an Android developer, and I'm still like working in my current job right now. I can say that I love Android so much. I tried a lot of things, but in the end, I really value the things I did to see in other people's phones, which is like get me excited so much. So I love creating stuff. So definitely like the UI parts also like help me feed my love for that. So I can say that.
Well, and let's just ask about UI. And to me, under my understanding, and I'm kind of almost done with my Google Coursera for UI UX. It's really having empathy, and it's really seeing the user journey and really making sure things are working for the user and kind of being very responsive in the development. And then I would say, I imagine working for a bank, there's a whole security component that you have to kind of be thinking about as you're developing an app.
Yes, definitely. But for the security part, actually, like backend handles the most of it.
Okay.
Yeah, we did a lot of things too, but the backend handles most of it. But the UI part, as you said, for my startup, actually, like I really did the UI so complicated in the first, like with my co-founder. We added a bunch of like functionalities. We added a bunch of things that people don't usually and easily like understand when they first open up the app. And after that experience, I understand that UI is the most important thing because it should be simple. It should definitely like target everyone. It should be like inclusive for everybody, and also like easy to understand, easy to find like where what it is. So it is definitely the most important thing, I think, in the application or websites. Also, like it is the most important thing, the UI part. Yeah, backend handles the logic part too, but the UI part is important because you are interacting with the customer, and it is really affecting your success. If the customer didn't really understand what they are doing in your application or in your website, it can be really hard for them to just like find the right things, or they can get easily bored. So definitely, like we have like special persons to do the design for us, but in my personal projects and also like my former jobs and projects, I definitely pay attention to UI most because as I said before, like I experienced the bittersweet version of the bad UI part for my startup. So definitely I am really prioritizing UI right now.
Yeah, it's an important discipline, and I'm not something that I was particularly thinking about. I just happened to get the scholarship, and it included all these different certificates, and so I started going through them, and I finished the project management, which sort of aligned with one of my college courses. So it was perfect timing on that. I finished the marketing and e-commerce one because that's my background, and I was like, all right, that should be pretty easy to kind of knock through, and I did. I finished cybersecurity. And there's the next ones I'm going to finish are the data analytics and Python classes. And then I think I'll have like the broad view of sort of what Google wants us to know.
I also did the like the project management course from Google too. I got certifications for that. It was definitely amazing experience. I believe that like everybody should know a little bit about business, and also like my dream is one day like have my own company. So that's the reason that I also took a lot of like college courses outside of my university, also in my university, like as an extracurricular. I definitely wanted to focus on the business side too. And also, like you did an amazing thing. You tried different things and to find what you love. So that is actually like what I did in college too.
I'm following the road where it leads me and I'm stacking. And yet, what's interesting to me, and I know you do quite a few kind of continuing education certifications and a lot of volunteering and mentoring, is how much things are stacking in ways that I think I'm doing a lot of different things. And then they all keep coming back because I just did the Google Cloud certification and I sat my first cybersecurity exam. And I noticed that a lot of the things on the exam had to do with disaster management. Well, that's what I study as my master's program. A lot of it had to do with the governance and risk and compliance. Well, okay, that's what I've studied in my law school program, which is the privacy law, cybersecurity. And then the Google Cloud, like the cloud was a huge part of the exam. And then I'm also a Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador, and I had done their cryptography. That was a huge part of the exam. So it's interesting to me to see like all these little, what I think are separate things, all actually end up sort of coming together and being all part of the same thing. That makes any sense.
Yes, yes, definitely. For the development part, I can say that like if you learn some languages, it can be definitely much more easy to learn another language because you grasp the concepts, like similar concepts everywhere. So you can grasp the concepts easily, and it will become another language for you, like you can learn quickly. But for the second part, like I follow that part for the business side, and also like as a developer, like I try to uh, try to learn as much as in my current journey. Like for the Android development, yes, like I did a lot of things. Also, like I host some like Android study clubs. That was definitely like affecting my learning curve too. I also did a lot of courses online, things for Android. But as you said, like I also did a data structure and algorithms course. Also, like attended some certifications programs for that. So it was definitely affecting each other a lot. So I think the key is in here, like you need to find something you love and start sucking upon that. So for me, that first of is Android development and second of is business. So I took a lot of business courses for University of Luxembourg and also like from Google or so with Girls with Impact. Like I did a lot of things for the business side because like I try to do that because I am a computer science major, so I didn't really grasp the concepts at school. But I somehow like someday I want to have my own job. So because of that, like I think that like I need to understand business better. So that was the reason for me to like stack up on that the business courses. And for the Android, like I choose this path. So I really lean into the algorithm part, the data structure part, the Android part. Like I really need to understand deeper on that. So I think the key is here, like you need to decide on something, like you need to decide on your starting point, and after that you can really build upon that. If you can't decide the starting point, it can be hard for you to like find your path. But if you find your starting point, like definitely each other complements themselves. So even if the business courses is complements but my development side, because like for the UI part, as you said, with the business we understand the customer needs. With the courses, I understand what the customer really expects from us. So this helps me planning the UI part. So definitely like um, each of the things we learn complement each other. But if you find your starting point, it can be more easy to like build upon that.
I definitely agree with that. I think that that starting point, and for me, like coming back into grad school, that starting point was urban
Yes.
planning. And I think I've always had questions about why our cities are the way they are and just land use. And there was a huge historical context of understanding how did we get here and why do we make the choices we make, and just understanding issues of energy and like that energy is dirty and you have to balance those things. I've been working on a lot of port projects for my portfolio. I'm doing this 3D modeling. Actually, that was my first coding project in JavaScript, is working with this 3D tiling tool called Cesium. And I didn't know how to code JavaScript. And thanks to ChatGPT, I learned how to code JavaScript. I'd be like, how do I do this? And I've built this 3D world around the Port of Long Beach. And I think ports are interesting because they're very dirty. And yet we need them because we need commerce and they're huge drivers of our economy. And yet a lot of disadvantaged communities live close to ports. And so trying to sort of build in equity and awareness of those community needs and that community impact. And so I think ports are kind of interesting because they are that tension, that balance in our world. And so I wanted to sort of do a sustainability analysis for the Port of Long Beach because they are very active in saying, hey, we're really being very proactive to be a green port and a clean port and a port of the future and do a job to, be more aware and inclusive and have less impact on our local communities. But that was a coding project. So it's sort of an opportunity for me to tie in my technical learning skills, building on this sort of urban planning concept.
Definitely.
And I'm almost done with it. It was really fun. Actually, I went to Google I/O and we were doing a demo and they were showing me things that you could do. I could like add all these other AI pieces to this. And so he pulled it up and it was like displayed on this like huge screen. And I was like, and it was super impressive and cool looking because it's all like in 3D and you sort of zoom in and out and go to little different parts of it. But yeah, I've been learning coding this last year. That has been a huge part of my learning curve. And I think that's one of the things that's really important for me is to be technically proficient with Python and with JavaScript are kind of the ones that are sort of most applicable to the things I do. But if other ones come up that I need to learn, as you said, once you start with one language, the other ones become a lot easier. I don't know how I would have done it though without AI, without a ChatGPT in my life, because it has made a lot of these things so much more approachable. I know, I think Stack Overflow is sort of the go-to for everybody forever.
Yeah, definitely. Like for me, Google and Stack Overflow was my OGs because like I was using all constantly. But now we have AI. I definitely use AI too, like with the Gemini, and also like now in Android Studio we have an extension of Gemini, so we can easily use Gemini for our Android projects. But before that, I definitely, as the Overflow girly, I found a lot of like answers from there that definitely saved my life multiple times. So,
And
we were not alone before that.
Yes, I've come at it at a time because I'm just really learning it now. Years ago, when I did my undergraduate, I coded because I thought that was interesting. And I was fascinated that I could build things and I love to build things. And then when I went into marketing, my first several years, you had to hand code a website. So HTML was my first language. But then after a while, everything became SaaS and what you see is what you get. And you no longer had to code it. And so that kind of went away. And I felt like I never had the mentorship to say, be a developer or study computer science. And because I came out of the arts, I found it very difficult to find an on-ramp into tech and into science. I first felt like coming from the arts, once you chose the arts, it was hard to sort of choose the sciences. And a lot of times they were like, well, you need a certain, and I love math, but there was, but if you needed to have math in your undergrad in order to sort of pursue it in your graduate school. So one of the things I really like about my GIS studies and what I'm studying within spatial sciences is it was an on-ramp into science. And I think I actually sort of needed the urban planning because urban planning I could do as someone who came out of sort of a creative and arts background and then use that as like a foundation into GIS. And then my internship that I'll be doing this coming year is with the U.S. Geological Survey, which is like the science department for the federal government. So I feel like I'm finally can like claim my identity as like woman in tech and woman in science. But that sort of leads me to the question for you about what led you into computer science.
Yeah, actually, like for even if from first grade, like I was definitely a huge nerd from math and science. I was also a math and science major in high school too, so that was definitely a path for me, like to easily select. I can say that. We had a lot of like family friends, are computer engineers, and I talk with them. I watch a lot of videos, and at that time, I got interested because like I have a lot of options in the computer science. So I told myself that I can find something I love because we have a lot of things like the cybersecurity, the mobile development, front-end development, back-end development, like DevOps. So we have a lot of things. So I told myself that, Selen, you can find something you love, so select the computer science. And I can say that when I was studying the computer science, my study is like actually focused on a lot of things. Like I got educated from like electrical engineers, so I built a lot of stuff in the electrical part. So we definitely studied the computer whole together and also the development side too. So I gained a lot of like wisdom from that. Also, like in the university, I took a lot of math courses. So at the time I was questioning myself like, why do we need that? So I can just easily code something, so why I'm learning math? But in the end it all makes sense, because it definitely helps you to like think more. I am not sure how can I put it in the right words, but definitely helping your thinking process, I can say that. So I am like I am not sad about it. I studied the computer science, but if you didn't study the computer science, I can say that like you can easily transition to tech too. But yeah, you need to understand some concepts before you starting. Like I know that CS50 has an amazing course from online. Like I even took myself too because it was definitely amazing. Like the instructor is amazing. Like some key concepts needs to be learned before you like study some specific things like the languages or like the mobile developments or like the cybersecurity stuff. I think you need to grasp some concepts like logically before that. So, but other than that, if you do that on your own, you can do that on your own because like the internet had a lot of things, a lot of informations, and it is really easy to find. You just need to like open YouTube and just like type something about you want to learn, and you can easily find that. So after that, you can easily move into the tech world. It is really easy. So for me, it was a fixed path. So it was an expected thing for me to do. But like I have a lot of friends also like doesn't took the linear road for the computer engineer or like the developer, becoming a developer. So it is possible, and definitely like it is enjoyable, it is amazing, I can say that. It have like some ups and downs, but I know that like every job has that, so it is not really specific to this field, I can say that.
And I want to kind of I appreciate everything that you just said with that. I want to ask one more question about that because I hear you say sort of it's important to have this background and this way of thinking, but sometimes I think if you're self-studying or even if you're planning on doing a program and you're transitioning, one of the things I would say is that sometimes you want to start because that sort of fuels your passion. You may not feel like you're as passionate about that calculus class or that statistics class in without context. But like once you start building or maybe learning the language first, but then realizing that like, oh, I can build things and this is really cool and I like this, then kind of going back and backfilling what you need for
Yes,
calculus,
definitely,
for statistics.
definitely.
But
Yeah,
sometimes if
like
you just start there, it's you don't like you said, it's not as easy to connect. Why do I need this?
Yes, yes, definitely. Like for the calculus part, I think it is not necessary. But like for the CS50 courses, like really focuses on the algorithms part and also like the key concepts for the development side, how you can think when you are developing something. Like he really like tells clearly like how you can think like that. So that's the reason, like as you said, like I definitely agree. Like you need to like first try. If you love it, you can like fill the back knowledge easily. Uh, but if you feel the back knowledge, like you can feel more comfortable and also uh like I am like talking from my experiences, of course, like this is my point of view for that. But like some of the people I also like saw like through my life and also like all the communities and stuff, like people understand the background of it, they really enjoy it more, I can say that.
Yeah, I absolutely see that. And I will say I have very messy thinking. I am not a structured thinker. And yet, when I get into mathematical concepts that sort of slow my brain down and give it sort of that logical order, a lot of our assignments right now, they want us to do a workflow diagram. And I realize how much I struggle even with something as simple as that because my brain isn't that ordered and that I have to sort of like really kind of work to sort of get these simple structured, they make so much sense like once you do them, but it's not as natural for me. And I just did code in place as just a way to sort of get back to sort of foundational Python and realize like it wasn't about coding. It wasn't so much of, yes, you'll learn about
Yes.
strings and lists and numbers, and but it was really about understanding what's the precondition, what are the steps, what's the post condition in every, and knowing how when you're coding sort of this universe, how do you make it work in multiple universes. So if
Yeah.
one universe is a 2 by 2 and one is a 5 by 5 and one is a 10 by 10, or it has sort of different walls and blocks within it, how do you, I'm specifically talking, they have a little robot called Carol, and it kind of moves through the universe. And so you have to sort of write your code so that it works in multiple applications. And
Yes, definitely.
it was just a way of sort of breaking down a problem. And so I think a lot of it really comes down to the core of your job in writing code is to solve a problem.
Yes, definitely. Like I also like struggled that when I was in the first year of college. That's coming from experience because I didn't understand like what is behind it like correctly, and I was really struggling to imagine all the like possible things, possible cases I need to cover when I was writing code. So that was the reason I said that. But as you said, like I definitely agree with that. But it is a learnable thing, so you can learn that. So if you want to like continue in that road, so you can start with data structure and algorithm courses. So you can like even if today I am still trying to like learn some algorithms and also like I definitely try to constantly like solve some problems because it can be easily forgotten. So that's the reason I am saying this. It's coming from an experience. I can say that. I struggle that. I don't want you to struggle with that. So if you like just do it like as a your daily routine or just like do it weekly, it can definitely help you because I didn't do that like when I first graduated in the first year. And after the first year, I realized that I forgot it all. So I like studied all of it again. So yeah, if you do it constantly and also if you like try to understand that the concept behind it, it becomes much more easier. And as you said, like in my daily job, actually I did a lot of like bug fixing. Like for my first job, actually it was solely focusing on the bug fixing part. So I can say that like it is an important thing to like understand what's going wrong in the code and also like try to solve that. And that's definitely included like understand the logics in the code because like sometimes the logic is wrong and that was the reason like this button is not working, or like this button is not working exactly the way it should. Like we have a lot of like test scenarios, so like some test scenario is not covered by the code, so this is coming as a bug. So yeah, definitely it is important to understand like what's going on in your code.
Yes, yes. And a lot of times, like I said, this is where I come back to working with AI has been really helpful, even to sort of, put a piece of code in. What is this code doing? And then how do I
Yeah,
adjust it? But at the same time, not all problems can it fix. So you still have to learn it and know it, but it can just be a helpful guide. But I do find that the more that I practice, the better I get, and that it is
yes,
sort of a muscle that you're building. And for me, it's
definitely.
like I'm very interested in applying it for data science. So I guess another language I would add in there is R Studio, because that's another good one for data science. And so Python for data science, and then I like kind of building things for GIS and with maps. And my interest recently has been in learning machine learning for uh, satellite imagery, and I just did a project as part of my Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador program, and it was very fun because we started the project not realizing we were only allowed 4 members on a team, and we had 5. And rather than kick someone out, we sort of asked for permission, like, hey, can we split into 2 groups? And our post, as they organized into groups, was still up there. Next thing we knew, we had 16. So then we ended up having 4 groups, and I was leading because all of them were like, we don't know what we're doing, but it sounds really interesting. So I had to figure it out first so that I could then communicate it to all of the groups. But we all successfully submitted our projects, and I happened to be on the team that we were qualified as one of the finalists. And it was really fun because we were applying it to disaster management. So we did a
Amazing.
flood in India that I had not realized the scale and mass of what had happened. I didn't realize like it affected
Yeah.
35 million people in the Kerala floods of 2018. And so I actually ended up putting a video together just of things I found on the internet, just because I wanted to communicate to the people we were presenting to the scale of this. Because I know as an American, we would have no concept of how big and disastrous these
Yes,
kind of
definitely.
floods were. But we use machine learning to show the before, the during, the after, and how long the recovery was taking.
Yes, amazing. So tech is definitely like making our life much more easier, and also like helps us to understand what's going on in the world much better. Like as you said, for the disaster part, it is definitely like helps us to understand like what's going on, what can happen tomorrow. Like for the data we have, what can happen tomorrow. So it definitely helps us to like try to build solutions for prevention. And also like if that's happened, like how can we speed up the recovery time? Like what we can do the helps us to like improve our metrics. So definitely it is amazing, and also you did an amazing project. Congratulations on that too.
Thank you. Yeah, I learned so much like coming into it. I had no idea what I was doing. So getting the algorithm and then to understand what can it do. And like the very
Yeah.
first thing was super simple. But when you work with satellite imagery, it's basically you're dealing with earth science, and you're dealing with satellites that are just taking pictures from space, and you have cloud cover. And in a rain event, you're going to have a lot of cloud cover. So we downloaded images from Google Earth Engine and then loaded them into Microsoft Azure, and then kind of prepping the data. The first thing I saw was some of the images were clear, some of them were 100% cloud cover, and some of them were mixed. And so it was just the very first task was just building the algorithm to identify the the image to say this is clear, this is mixed, or this is cloudy. And that way we then had the opportunity to sort of use our clean images or our mixed images and eliminate anything that had that full cloud cover because it had no use. And so
Hmm.
just even getting the algorithm to know and recognize that was just a first step in our sort of analysis. And then we were able
Yes.
to then process the images so we could see. And maybe we can't actually get the recovery to happen any faster, specifically because that's a huge agricultural area and a lot of agriculture was wiped out, which impacts food security for people. But at least government and policy can know where they still need to send resources.
Yes, definitely. It can help with that.
And the other three projects that we did, one was in deforestation. I did not know that the Congo has the second largest rainforest in the world. And
Oh, I also did not know.
but one of our participants was based in Congo. So that was a project that he had chosen. And that in that Congo, which is in the central part of Africa, is huge. It's a huge forest cover. And that there are so much illegal deforestation happening there. And so we were actually able through satellite imagery to see that deforestation happening. And you could see that change over time. And so that was one of and then the other two projects, one was based on a cyclone that hit Bangladesh, and the other one was an earthquake that also hit sort of the northern part of India in the sort of northeast corner. And so we kind of collectively did different projects. We had a forest project, we had a flood project, earthquake, and a cyclone, and could see kind of that before, during, and after, and that kind of recovery period. So it was really sort of an opportunity to see multiple applications for this sort of machine learning with satellite imagery.
Yeah, amazing.
That is kind of where my lane is, but because I'm interested in government, that's where I feel like the cybersecurity comes in. And I just feel like all of us, no matter who we are or what we do, should have some cybersecurity awareness. And that's where I just ended up being part of my studies as well. And sometimes I'm like, wait, does it fit? Does it not fit? But I'm like, I'm interested in it because I do think, where I study human security, there's also, making sure we have technological security. And I think definitely that AI and machine learning can be super interesting in helping us be better at our security, but also that they come with this whole other group of threats as well. So the whole sort of AI responsibility is a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But I want to bring us back to within this, I'm just going to talk a little about this mentorship program that I've put together, because I was seeing a lot of women finding themselves at the beginning of a career, just not knowing where to start. Cybersecurity they often say, is like not particularly entry-level friendly. And the entry-level jobs that are out there are just super, super competitive. And for those, for example, who missed the internship opportunity or just any other factors that have just made them feel like, wait, I don't know where to start. And we've just pulled them together, and we have a group that we're helping in that process. And so a couple of things I want to ask you about. One is I am remarkable, because I know you're a facilitator for that. And I just think that it's a great opportunity that I'd like to introduce to our mentees. And I've done the program, and I was very impressed with it's very short, it's free, and you leave with this new insight to yourself that I think is a huge confidence boost.
Yes, definitely. Like when I first heard I am remarkable, I was in my senior year. And after that, I attended the Women Developer Academy from Google. And one of the things we did, I am remarkable session with them. Definitely an amazing thing. So after I attended the session, I definitely asked the people who are hosting that, how can I be a remarkable facilitator? Because I was definitely wowed by it. As you said, one of the best things I did in my life, becoming a facilitator, because it was definitely an amazing thing to see how people are finding themselves or thinking about themselves, because we often really neglect ourselves, because that's the reason that we always chase for other things. So we really never stopped and be grateful for what we have or what we done before. So I am remarkable, definitely a pause in life to just yeah, just stop and be in here. It's just a safe space. So in here we are focusing on what are you making you remarkable, what is making you remarkable. So what did you in your life, you said you I am remarkable for it. So we are focusing on that, and also we are sharing some facts about, as you said, being a developer in tech, and also being a woman in tech, or other things. We share some insights for that too in the events. But the most amazing part of it, the workshop part, I gave them like some time to just wrote like what why you think that you are remarkable for. And I said them every time that um, this is not really need to be a big thing. So you can be remarkable because you are good at cooking. So you can be remarkable like because you are like writing stuff or like doing some kneading. So you can be remarkable for anything. So doesn't limit yourself for only you think that it is successful in the business part of it or your life or like the school part of it because you are remarkable for just being here. I can say that. So I'm definitely a huge lover for I am remarkable. I did a lot of like sessions for Canada or like for Netherlands, for Turkey. I did a lot of sessions for from people everywhere. So I'm really grateful to be a facilitator. So yeah, I can say that.
I love that. And you are also a content creator and a speaker. And I think sometimes people sort of say, okay, well, I'll start speaking about that later when I get started or I get the validation that I'm allowed to do this. And when I had done the Women Developers Academy, I was thinking I was going into this saying, hey, they're going to teach me to code better because that's what I'm working on. And I think we can all always be better public speakers and better content creators. And that can continue uh, to grow, but you only, again, much like coding and much like the things you've been talking about with, as a developer and UI, the more you practice, the more that you're going to just get better at it. And so I want to encourage people that wherever you are in your career, to just start speaking about it, to start writing about it, to start sharing it, to start amplifying resources and other things that are interesting to you, to start creating that personal brand and also to just help and inspire others because I think it's important to be recognized and start to share, to be seen, to be visible, to create those opportunities that people are looking for that it might for some feel like, well, no, I'll do that later when I'm validated. And can you sort of
Yeah.
speak to your kind of content journey?
Yeah, for my content journey, I actually started like when I was in the first grade of like university. But I first opened a website and like I just searched the web and I didn't really see a lot of like role models for myself. So I thought that like I can create content with other women developers and share it in my website. So that's the way that I can also inspire myself. So I was not really doing that for other people at that time. And still, I am not doing it for like only for other people because when you really create content, it helps you. It definitely helps you. Like with the speaker engagement, with everything, it helps you because like even with the podcast, like you ask some great questions and I really find some things like I didn't really think about it before. So that is really an eye-opening thing for me. Like all of the things you can do, like the public speaking, the content creation, all of it is really helps you in a lot of way. For the tech side of it, I was actually thinking that like I'm not qualified for like doing a public speaking about Android because I'm not a senior developer. But like last year, I really like overcame that and did my first real presentation in Google's first Dev Fest on Discord. So it was definitely an amazing journey for me. Like even the last year in the beginning of last year I was even thinking like applying that because I didn't think that I am not qualified by, but I took the leap and just like apply it and accept it. And it was like one of the best things I did in my life. It was an amazing experience for me. I also after that did Android Worldwide talk. So I can say that like don't wait for it. Like for the opportunities, don't wait for it. Like if you see some speaking form, just apply. Like what's gonna happen? You didn't die in the end, so what's gonna happen? Like if you didn't accept it, like I also rejected like a lot of from it too, but like I didn't lost anything from the rejections. I also gained something from rejections either because like I work on my proposal much better for the next time. Also like I try to like edit some other things in the presentation to just make it more appealing for the things I'm applying for. So I can say that for the public speaking part, just start, because like you will never be ready, because everything is changing constantly. So you can never be learn everything. You can never be pro at everything. So just like share what you know. And also like I was like afraid so much, like if somebody asks something and I didn't know, like what can I do? And I realized that it is okay to say that, like, I didn't know about it right now, but I can just like get back to you after I search for it, or just like you can write it to me through LinkedIn, and I can just like look it up, and after that, like I can get back to you and explain it to you more easily. So that is definitely the most important thing, to just start. For the content creation part, like I did a lot of content creations for like other organizations. Also for myself, I now have a newsletter which I wrote about like the space. Space is something I am really, really passionate about since I was a child, actually. So I didn't pursue that side of it when I was in college, but definitely a side of it, like I am still curious about it. I am still like reading the news about it. And after that, I decided like I am really curious about it. Like why I'm not writing about it, because I am reading a lot of articles, reading a lot of news about it. So I thought to myself, yeah, I can do something like this. Like I can create a newsletter and share the news I found it interesting. Like I am sharing news about space, like from the technical parts, and also like from the personal development side. I am a huge personal development nerd too, because I believe that humans are a constant improvement project. So the personal development is a huge part in my life, has a huge part in my life. And I try to do it with books and also like courses and stuff, but mostly with books. So I incorporated like some book recommendations in my newsletter too. So yeah, like just start, because if you start, you can build upon that. But if you didn't start and just think about it, like what's going to happen? Nothing. So you literally lose nothing with sharing something. If like nobody is reading to it at the time, like keep going, and after that, people start to follow it. Like when I first like opened my newsletter, like only 10 people followed it, really 10 people, and I was just like telling my mom like only 10 people followed it, like I'm really bad at it, like nobody's following the newsletter, I'm just writing to myself. But after that, the number is still not real high, but it's a work in progress. So I can say that just start and just believe in yourself, because like in the end, definitely it's all gonna make sense. And like all the things like the content creation, public speaking, in the core, like it is helping you. It is helping you to just like when you are presenting something technical, you are just like working on it, try to understand all the concepts, all the things you need to learn, like all of it. It is definitely helping you in the beginning. Other than that, it is really a joy to just like share your knowledge with people. Like after the sessions, like if somebody told me like, yeah, I learned something from you, like even if my personal development speaking engagements, like if somebody wrote to me like, I really enjoyed it, like even if the after the I am remarkable, like sometimes like people wrote to me like, I really noticed that something like it was amazing. I am so happy because of it, because it is the really a joy for like helping other people to learn something, to recognize something from their life. So just start, because even if you touch somebody's life, it will definitely create a butterfly effect. So my only thing I want to give you, just start from somewhere.
And I want to comment a couple of things when you talked about I only had 10. I actually think that that's a gift, because one of the things I kind of like to kind of frame it as, you are not making a Super Bowl commercial. And in the Super
Yes.
Bowl commercial, millions of people watch your 30 seconds and they're going to love it or hate it or have an opinion. Whereas I actually like the fact that when you begin knowing that you have less than 10 followers or only 10 followers, gives you more confidence to just create something that you'll be proud of, something that kind of gets you going, because you're not, the thing about virality is that if it hasn't hit it yet, then you can't, I guess my point is, if it's bad, nobody notices it's bad. It's only when it's good
Yes.
is it noticed. And so you can't really fail because nobody's there to sort of really spend time with something they don't like or aren't interested in. And so you earn their likes, you earn it being good, but nobody's really paying attention to it when it's not there yet.
Yes. Also, actually, the important thing is like you don't want like 1,000 followers. Like if really they didn't read it or just like they didn't really like pay attention to it. But if you have 10 followers and like they're really paying attention, they're learning something, it is a valuable thing here. So just focus on like even if one people like as I said it before, like even if one people is just gonna read it or learn something from it, it is definitely gonna make your life much more amazing and also like give you a purpose in life.
Yes. And sometimes I think at the very beginning, you are the one person. You should enjoy your own
Yes.
content. And I will say, I've written blogs, I've made TikToks or YouTube where I'll watch it or read it again and again, being like, wow, I really like this. I did well with this. I'm proud of this. But that said, sometimes just creating that content coming from this place of authenticity and telling our stories and telling what's true for us because it may resonate with someone else. Content creation is the same way. You got to put it out there and engage and give it time. Some things are going to hit, some things are going to miss.
Yes.
It's not a perfect science. I think the only thing that you can do is do it with authenticity and do it with consistency. And that even
Yeah.
if you stop being consistent, give yourself a break and then just come back and do it again.
Yeah, for the content creation, I can say that, like, as you said, authenticity is really important, but also the important thing is like just have fun because uh, if you didn't have fun when you are doing it, it will become like not doable in the end. Uh, yeah, I can say that. But like for the events, actually, like I host a lot of events for like other organizations, not myself specifically, but other organizations. Like we always had like the expectations, like how much people will come, like if anybody didn't come, like what we can do about it. Like we always had that anxiety within us. So I definitely understand you very well. But it is not like both of the parts problem. Like if you did the communication right, but still a lot of like few people showed up. This is not them problem or you problem because it really depends on a lot of aspects like the timeline. Like we have a lot of time zones in the world, so the time may be like not suitable for everybody, or the topic is not suitable for like everybody. So just like do what you love and don't just really think about it a lot. So for the events and the content creation part, like do what really resonates with you. Like even if like two people showed up, like you teach two people a lot of new things. Like just think about that. I know that this thinking just comes to me naturally either. So I definitely developed that like over the years. A lot of like organizations, events, like I am doing it like since the beginning of college. So at least like 7 years right now. So definitely didn't come to me easily too, but this is like manageable skill. Also, you can learn that along the way. Just like try to see the good parts in all of it. Try to focus on the good parts, like not try to focus on the numbers, like also like the other stuff, likes and stuff. So I'm also telling this to myself either, like not people, like all of the things I'm saying, I am talking to myself too. Definitely, it is important to focus on the content and your development along. Definitely, I started as an organizer, and after that, like I became an ambassador. Also, I attended a lot of things. Like I had a lot of opportunities from there, like for the Women Developer Academy, like Cloud education from women Techmakers. Also, they did a lot of like events regularly for like helps us to like learn something new. Also, like I'm a part of the woman startup community from Google, which was the time like I was had my startup. So I'm still in that community too. I'm attending their classes too sometimes. It is amazing. So it is definitely an amazing, the best thing you can do because being around that energy, synergy, like being around that people feeds you so much. also like helps you to see that it is like doable. So yeah, she did it, and also like yeah, I can do it too because she's an example for me. Not for the competition, like just like really congratulating them, and after that, like seeing this is possible. Like the first thing I did in the university too, like doing the talks with the other women, like the blog posts or the interviews with other developers, I showed myself that this is possible because I was really struggling, because I didn't saw many examples, and also like even if I like watched YouTube videos, like most of them are men, so I needed that. I needed that representation in my life. So it was an amazing community to be in, to see other people who are representing like an extension of you, as you said, just like being proud of them, being proud of their achievements, also like helping them because they're helping you in a lot of different way, like you didn't even really recognize, because they are really representing you in a way, and also they're opening ways for you, which is really important for me. As I can say that, like if I saw some like senior developer woman who are like doing something, like I told myself, yeah, she did it, so I can do it too. This is possible. So it is the key parts here. So these communities have an amazing environment to support you, just like you feel belong to somewhere. I think this is the really important thing in life. You need to belong somewhere. We need people. We need people to survive. So in a way that like being in that place, also like being surrounded by amazing successful women who are like trying to do their best in the tech industry, just like helps you to like keep pushing, not giving up. So it is definitely a gift to myself to be in a part of this community. I Yes, definitely. But I can say that, like for the confidence part, it is something like not come to you from the start. Like it is something you are building upon the years. I can say that. Like with the content creation, like in the first year of college, I also had an Instagram account, like where I share technical things I do. Like when I was working, I was sharing some photos of it, and I really like had a great environment, but I didn't really felt happy because like I didn't have enough followers, and I really like lose confidence. Like nobody is like seeing the posts, or like nobody is liking the posts, etc. But after that, like this year, I'm trying to like after all these years, I did a lot of different things, like a lot of like public speaking and like mentorship stuff, and a lot of other things like helped me to build my confidence. And I am really thinking like going back to that and doing the same thing I tried to do and failed. Like I not failed, but I was thinking I failed before. Like I'm trying to like do it all over again, like starting over and doing the things that I wanted to do, because as you said, like now I have the confidence, because I know that like if I didn't have enough followers from the beginning, I will not quit right now. But at that time, because I didn't have the confidence, I quit it. So like the confidence comes to you like from all of the other places in your life, and also like confidence. I in my life, I can say that like in my life, I really gained the confidence along the way. Like if you didn't have the confidence right now, just like don't be mad at yourself, but just don't quit, because it is definitely a work in progress. Like as humans, we are a work in progress. So our jobs or our things we did or do, like as a content creation part, it's definitely a progress. So just keep going. Like I can say that.
Yeah. And I've done a few courses and I read a lot because I'm interested in that as well. And one of the speakers was saying that there'll always be a gap between what you create and what you know is possible to create, and just
Yes.
keep going. Like it's okay that it's not as perfect as we want it to be. And his idea is saying, I would rather someone make 100 videos in 100 days than try to make one perfect video in 100 days.
Yeah, for the content creation part, like I am really a huge fan of like the accountability partners and also like the brag documents. Maybe you heard of it before. First heard of it from an article like the Spotify engineers, like they told that in the article like Spotify engineers do brag documents like weekly, and in those brag documents like they talk about like what they learn each week, and like how this is like affecting people's mental health, and also like celebrating themselves, also like noticing like how much they are learning or how much they are doing in life, but not specifically like the technical or like the it is really all about like the life and work and all of it. So I really love the concept, the brag document. So you don't really need to share with other people, but I try to do it like at least like 2 or 3 months. I try to like just look back in the months and just like try to write down like what I really did for myself, like what I learned in those months, or like the events I did, or the talks I did, or the podcast I did. Like I wrote down like everything, and this definitely helps me a lot in growing my confidence back. Like getting my confidence back, because when we are living in a society like everybody does a lot of it, like at these shows they are doing a lot of things, so we can easily feel like we are behind. I think it is really important to like once in a once a month, or like at least 2 or 3 months, once in 2 or 3 months, like just do something like this, and just like remind yourself like how long you did, like how long you just like grow, like what you did or like what you learned. Just like appreciate yourself more, because it can be really hard to just like feel like you are, if you are not in the destination you are set your mind to, you can feel like you're a failure. But if you just like focus on what you did rather than like hold the staircase in front of you, like if you just like took some time to just like look back and see like how much stairs did you just like took, it has really helps you to like build your confidence, or also like understand yourself better and improve yourself better. It is something you can easily do it on your own, or you can just like meet your friends and just like talk about your brag documents if they're up for it. It is also a great way to just like get to know each other better also. Like try to see like what's your friend doing in their lives too. Yeah.
And I think as people, we bond, and it helps us and each other and building those relationships when people see what you're up to and what you're trying to create, and you see them for what they're up to and what they're trying to create, and you are there to help each other and there to inspire, support, be someone who can bounce things off of, give ideas, give feedback. I think all of that is really important because we want to be seen and acknowledged for not only who we are, but also where we're going.
Yes, I think it is the most basic human thing to be wanted to be feel seen and also like understand it from other people's side of it. It is the most human thing, I can say it. So if you find a way to do it, yes. Also, like from that place, it is important to know your values better. I did a lot of like sessions for focusing on like how you can find your values in life, like how you can find your path in life. I think the core is finding your values. Like what is valuable for you? Like I think these questions needs to be asked before like you decided on something, because it's definitely affecting our jobs or like affecting our lives. Like the reason I am doing the communities or like all of the other things I did from my like free time, I am doing it voluntarily. That's the reason like I am really feeling happy, excited, like for life actually, because I am seeing that I am helping this woman, and also like I am helping like that much of woman, or also like I am giving them a space for to talk about this, or I am trying to like help them feel they are belong. So that is my passion. So it is important to know that what is your passion is, what is your values. So after that, you can really build upon that career. Like for the content part or for the job part, like it is the core thing. You need to know your values, what is valuable for you, what is important for you in life. And after that, you can easily like navigate through it.